Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just checking out this my new live feature. Just trying to get used to it, and hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more of this very soon. Just gonna check this YouTube real quick and make sure that I can see everything the same way that you can see it. But how is everyone doing? Today I'm going to just do a live demonstration real quick. Just something just to be able to kind of get the artistic flair flowing, and hopefully you'll be able to ride along with me as I kind of just talk about art life. It's a little bit different, as an entrepreneur, working artist, we have our ups and our downs, so just going to kind of talk about that for a second. Right. This is the painting I'm going to do. So I'll switch camera real quick and then we'll see what we're able to get done. But yeah, so as a working artist, times can be up and they can be down. My career has been one that I've definitely had a lot of ups, but also some downs. Just I think that's the life of being an entrepreneur, nonetheless, an artist. And to be an artist that actually is able to work consistently, I think it has taken a lot of ingenuity. It's taken a lot of basically commercializing the art that I do. And I think what's helped me, really has helped me, has been able to, uh, when I'm in front of people, doing things that uh, basically in pretty fast pace, but doing things to where they just want to know if I can do the same thing for them. And honestly, a lot of the work that I've done over the years has been doing things such as portraits or a lot of custom work. I'll say that. And custom work really has just been the saving grace, as it were, of my career, being able to, pay rent, be able to pay things, have no debt, you know, all those things have been able to happen because I've been able to do artwork for not just people, but, regular individuals, but also a lot of brands. And painting, being able to paint pretty much anything that the client may want me to, is the way in which I've been able to stay working. Every once in a while, I'll probably be able to do something that's just on my own, just something that I want to do. But I really enjoy working for other clients and being able to pay bills. Who doesn't like that? So being able to diversify the different styles that I want or that the client may want, it just depends on uh, what artwork or what ideas that they give me. And that really has helped me to be able to enjoy what I do. Just the fact that I can um, paint many different ways, and it has nothing to do with what was learned in school or not, just kind of doing my own thing. And that actually brings up another subject when it comes to doing your own thing. Uh, a lot of times in schools, and by the way, I didn't go to a traditional art school, but I did have art classes and training along the way, whether it's just in the different, I'm going to say kindergarten through high school, or the additional college-like classes that I took. Went to a school that allowed me to be able to, part of class was just to experiment. So it wasn't that they taught me to paint this way or that way, but uh, in the class, if I just needed to paint something, then they allowed me to paint it. And then once it was done, then they could give me ideas possibly on other ways that I can, maybe get the job done or get the assignment done, which a lot of times it might have been something like an advertising campaign or something like that. But the point is that being able to paint in many different styles just comes with practice. And that's why I didn't uh, necessarily want to go to an art school, but just some place that would give me the freedom to kind of do me, you know. And I'm sure a lot of you may be very similar when it comes to uh, the art school versus non-art school. I wasn't always too happy with the thought of someone telling me I had to paint a certain way. Um, so being able to kind of do as I wanted was really nice. And then when it comes to just modern day, the amount of, I'm going to say, knowledge or the amount of other tutorials and things that we have online, YouTube, there's just so many different ways in which we can see other artists and learn how to uh, maybe do a certain type of technique or style. Things that when I was coming up just didn't have that because we didn't really have the internet. so so it wasn't something that we can use. We just had to either find someone that we knew on the street someplace in our town that was also an artist or read books. If you can find books or magazines, and that's how we would do it. But outside of that, it just wasn't available. So really, when I'm talking to students these days, being able to tell them that you don't necessarily have to go to an art school. I mean, if your parents are paying for it and they have money like that, sure, go ahead. But do you have to go to art school to be a successful artist? Not in the slightest. As a matter of fact, when the school that I did go to, when it was time to do an art project, they would just say, well, what kind of materials do you want to use? Which medium do you want to use? And I would tell them, and they say, okay, well, go home and practice that. So I didn't get any training on how to use any of the aforementioned tools or mediums, but they would just say, go practice it. So I really wish I did have a YouTube during those days, but I don't know, maybe I'm doing better without having it. It just kind of left me up to my own devices. But no, there's just so many different ways now that you can learn a lot faster. And using YouTube is definitely a good way. But then outside of YouTube, I mean, there's just so many other uh, free courses. There's plenty of paid courses that will go a lot more in depth into the different mediums. I know I have helped out a lot of students with free and with paid, advice. So it can definitely help you out and speed you up in your process. And when it comes to actual clients, what I've learned in the professional world is they could care less what type of medium that you're using, as long as it looks like whatever it is that they are looking for, the end result. So if you're able to, if it needs to look like it was oil painted and you can still do that with acrylic, they don't care. They're not artists. They just know what the end result they would like it to be. And that's what I found was fascinating. A lot of times as artists, we're thinking it's going to be one particular type of way once we actually make it into the professional world, and that's not it at all. I think a lot of us are going to have a lot of surprises when it comes to what actually is expected from those that are non-artists. And we're looking at things from an artistic standpoint, and they're not. So they're really can change the perspective as far as what actually is needed versus what you think it would be. And so I think it's actually going to help save you a lot of anguish, just being able to get good at different mediums and be able to manipulate those different mediums any way that you want. And with doing it that way, you'll be able to always deliver what it is that's needed. Whether you're doing it for a client, I know I've been talking a lot about clients, but when you're doing it for a client or you're doing it for yourself, and then you're just selling the things that, your creation, your complete mindset, just originals, that's fine too. I just honestly have not had a career doing that, so I'm probably going to talk a lot more about what it's like to work for clients that actually want a certain outcome. But like I said, it's either one can pay bills, and that's pretty much all that matters. And then being able to have fun. I can honestly say I've had a tremendous amount of fun being able to paint over the years. And I think one of the things that actually has helped me to be able to be very versatile in the type of clients that I get has been the fact that I taught myself how to airbrush. And with that skill alone, not only is it a lot of people that are not able to do it, but an airbrush, being that it's an aerosol type, the way it comes out, that it sprays, that allows an artist to be able to paint on any type of surface pretty much. And with that type of freedom, that really helps out with the amount of projects that you'll be able to take on. And the fact that because you're probably one of the few in your area, wherever you live, that can do that, then now you're extra special because you're not competing with, 20, 30 other artists that potentially are in your caliber. But once you start airbrushing, now you may be literally one of one or one of two. And so the amount of money that you can charge can definitely change. And if it's not about money, just the fact that you're able to spray can speed up how fast you're able to paint. And whether that's painting, again, for yourself or painting for a client. But I'm always under the understanding that time is money, even if you're painting for yourself, unless you just happen to have money like that and you can just spend all the time in the world just doing what you want to do. But most of us do not, we're not that fortunate. So we actually have to have a time limit of some type on the projects that we do so that it doesn't seem like we're wasting time. And that has just being able to spray, whether it's with an airbrush or even with a larger paint gun, like the kind, an HVLP, one that you would use for painting a car or things like that, that really has helped out with kind of isolating me and others just like me. I know all of my other friends that are airbrush artists are very similar. All of us have been able to make a living out of our artwork because there's something about airbrushing. It just instantly commercializes your artwork. And I can honestly say that the airbrushing, since I started, people have always asked me how much. So being that I was so young starting at 15, I I never went through the starving artist phase that I know many artists go through. And I'm sure it's the same with any of you listening that are also airbrush artists. We don't really go through that because people, for whatever reason, they see the, just the awe, just the amazing way in which airbrush looks, and then people they just want it. It's different. And I think that that's also something that's special, just being able to paint in a way that is different, that everybody else is not doing. And what you see me doing now, it's just a different style, something I've kind of learned over the years how to paint. It's a subtractive method, putting paint down, knowing which paint to put down that can actually do this. This is acrylic paint. And if you want to know more about this particular paint, just let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to let you know exactly what it is and how you can get it. But yeah, this particular paint is very special. It's not a lot of acrylic paints that you can lay down and also lift back up, as you kind of see me doing here. So, but yeah, so this is just the first layer of what I'm doing. And if you want to, again, know more about how to do this in a more detailed way, just let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to get with you and show you how to do it. It's easy to do that sort of thing now while my channel is small. I'm gonna be on here until I can grow this channel, and in the meanwhile I can be a little bit more personable with y'all and we can be friends. What do you think so far? How's it looking? Hopefully it looks like something. Yeah, just wanted to listen. This again, this is just the first layer, and then I'll come back and then add the next layer after this dries. So I think I'll probably just stop there, but just wanted to chat with y'all just for a second, and then I'll come back for part 2 and finish this up. All right. Talk to y'all soon.